good evening, everyone. So bear with us, we're the last one of the evening. So in the last month, I've been reading online in the news that there's been a lot of fraud being committed to with people fake voices. How it works actually is someone can take your voice, clone it, and use it to send it to someone, so to ask for personal information or even ask for money. So this really scares me because anyone can clone my voice, take it, and ask for my friends or my family for money. So I decided to do something about it. So first, I recorded my voice.
Hey, I'm a bit in a situation. I just had an accident and I need to pay the person $500 right now and my bank account is blocked. Could you please transfer me the money to this email? I'll pay you back really soon.
So this is a recording of a real life scenario that happened in the past. So my goal is now to transform my voice into my friend's voice and see how it works and if it's really easy to do it. So I asked my friend to build a model with me and to see how we can transform my voice.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. I know there's a model on Hugging Face that uses AI, and with only 15 minutes of that person's voice, it can really make a flawless fake voice. So I know a friend, Joseph, he hates typing, so he's always sending voice notes. So I bet it's gonna be super easy to get like 15 minutes of his voice to train the model. Okay, so it's done, let's hear it out.
Hey, I'm a bit in a situation. I just had an accident and I need to pay the person $500 right now and my bank account is blocked. Could you please transfer me the money to this email? I'll pay you back really soon.
Wow, that was so scary. It really sounds like a friend. We definitely need like an authenticator of voices to know if this is fake or not. Hey, wait, we're data scientists now, so we can do it by ourselves. Elise, will you mind to explain how we can do it?
Yes, sure. So by using artificial intelligence and machine learning, we can use a model which will help us to predict if a voice is real or fake. So how did we proceed? The first step was to collect our data from the internet. We also recorded our voices. At the end, we had more than 100,000 seconds of sounds to analyze. After that, we took all these sounds and extracted some features. The features are the characteristics of the sound. They are, for example, the intensity of the voice, the height, the range of frequencies, and so on. When they are all put together, they allow us to identify individual sounds the same way that fingerprints help identify humans. After that, we use all these features to feed and train a XGBoost model. So a XGBoost model is a machine learning model which works the same way as a team of relay racers. The first racer receives the data and learn all the features. After that, he passes all this data to the next one, and the next racer will improve all this knowledge, and the process will be done so on with all the members of the team. This is the same way that our XGBoost model works. At the end, the model allows us to make prediction on voices by calculating the patterns of real voices and by recognizing the inconsistencies on fake voices. So now that our model is ready, let's test it with our application. Youssef, can you show us?
Yes, of course. So deepfake is very scary indeed. The first time I heard the audio that Nicole made, I was impressed because it did sound like me. And I'm pretty sure if some of my friends receive that audio, well, most of them might get fooled. And that's unless they use audio Authenticator. So the app is pretty easy to use. All I have to do is upload the audio. So I can browse for the sound that Nicole made, which is right here, Youssef. I can open it. Now that it's loaded, I can open it, make sure that I open the right one.
Hey, I'm a bit in a situation.
So you guys can hear now that it's pretty similar to my voice, which is really scary for me. Then I click on predict. And here it tells me I'm almost certain that this voice is fake. So the model was able to tell that this was a deep fake. And if we scroll down, we can see the features that the model used to predict that, to do that prediction. So to illustrate how easily we can get fooled by deepfakes, we're gonna play a little game together. So what you're gonna do, I'm gonna play a couple of sounds of Trump, and together we'll try to guess if it's a real one or a fake one, okay? So let's try it. I'm gonna go get the first one. Let's start with this one. I'm gonna open it. Okay, let's hear it now.
More than 200 years after a former colony won the right to determine its own destiny.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Anyone thinks it's real? Okay, a couple of people here. Okay, okay. I thought it was real too. So I predict. And actually, it is a fake one. The model can tell that it's a fake one, and that's the case. It was a fake one. Let's try another one. Let's go with this one. Open it. Okay, let's split.
We'll have great relationships. We expect to have great, great relationships. No dream is too big. No challenge is too great. Nothing.
So, again, raise of hand. Real. Okay, got a couple more people here. Let's see what the app has to say. So the app is certain that the voice is real, and in fact, it was a real piece of audio. So it can be hard to tell if it's a real or a fake voice without using an app like Voice Authenticator. And we can imagine moving forward, like we can integrate it in our phone. And then like when we receive a voice message or we have a phone with someone, we'll receive like a notification from the app telling us, oh, watch out, this seems to be like a deepfake. Be cautious, don't send any money. So the website is already online. I invite you now to scan the QR code, go try it, and we hope you will enjoy it.
Right, good evening, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying the project. There's just a few more for you. So this is our project. It's credible content. It is a fake news detector using a predictive model. Now, to demonstrate this, I encourage you to go back in time to when the medicine for COVID was still being developed. Now, there were many different medicines that were tested out for COVID, and one of them was ivermectin. Now, while this was quickly debunked by doctors, it did stay on the mind of a lot of people. Now, why is that? Well, this man is one of the many reasons for that. He sits currently at the #1 spot for podcasts not only in the US, but also globally. And he has about 11 million listeners per episode, which comes out daily. Now, the issue with this is, he might not be a doctor per se, but he was certainly influential to many people. So much so that about 270 doctors did in fact put out an open letter urging him to please cease this misinformation. Now, other outlets went their route to simply showcase how deadly this kind of misinformation is. So the issue here is, what can happen when misinformation is taken as actual information? And this is what our project does. Before we tell you about the project itself, I'll tell you a little bit about the data set. It is from Kaggle. I'm sure everyone here kind of knows it. So we did minimal pre-processing and cleaning to it because, lucky for us, our model does the majority of it by itself. So we started with about 30,000 entries, and after these minimal pre-processing, we had about 23,000 entries left. And to tell you a little bit more about the model is Abel.
So we decided to employ natural language processing in order to classify the articles. And the advantage of natural NLP is that it is based off the relationship of the words inside the article. So we can disregard factors such as the publisher or whether any of the individual claims in the article are true or not. And this matters because even if it's a reputable publisher, they can still put out fake news sometimes. And whether a fact is true or not can change depending on what time you do the fact check. So by looking at just the text of the body, we're able to take away these sources of possible bias. And for natural language processing, there's two major steps involved. There's the text embedding, where words are changed into a matrix of vectors, and then there's the actual classification model itself. So we tried out an ensemble of methods, some custom, some pre-trained, and then mixed and matched these to try to create the best model possible. And through this process of trial and error, we ended up settling on BERT. Now, BERT is the premier natural language processor that was developed by Google. It was trained on 3.5 billion words, and what makes BERT special is that it's bidirectional. So it looks both at the word before and the words after in order to create the value matrix. And there are many different versions of BERT, but we decided to go with DistillBERT because it's much less computationally expensive while maintaining 95% of the accuracy from the full BERT model. So then we took DistillBERT and we trained it on our 24,000 article data set, and we were left with this model. It has 66 million parameters, and then we attached a threshold of 70% to it. So if an article was determined to be 70% true, we'd classify it as real. If it was 70% false, we'd classify it as fake. And if it was anywhere in between there, we would say it was suspicious and then prompt the user to do further research. With this threshold on our actual test set, we were able to get 93% of the fake articles classified accurately, 97% of the true ones accurately, and then around 6 to 7% of the data fell into that suspicious category. But that's enough talking about the model for now. Let's actually check it out. So we can go over, this is our application, credible content. And if we go over to the prediction page, you can see that there's a box where all you have to do is copy and paste the body of the article, and it will give you our model's prediction. So there were a couple articles that we pre-selected for you to try this out. The first one, so because of that hysteria based off of ivermectin, there were some members that of Joe Rogan's listeners of Joe Rogan that ended up going out and buying the horse version of the ivermectin and had adverse health effects. And then Rolling Stone puts out this article that so many people are overdosing from the horse ivermectin that gunshot victims weren't getting into, there were no beds in the ER for the gunshot victims. So we can take, all you have to do is take the text of the article right here, put it into our text box, and when we hit predict, we can see that our model says that the article is in fact, drum roll please, fake. And what's interesting is that if you go to this article now, Rolling Stone has actually issued a correction where they say that they cannot back up the claims of this anymore. But of course, this correction was issued weeks after it was originally published and the misinformation had already spread. So if you had access to our application at the time, the moment this popped up, you could have just pasted in the body and you would have known right away that that information was actually untrue. Now we have another example we set up for you from The Onion, which I'm sure everyone here knows is a satirical website, but in case you didn't know that and you ran to an article like this where, you know, man feels like bystanders are arguing with him in bad faith to put his guns away, and you were shocked and you wanted to see whether this was true or not, you can just copy the text, put it inside the box, hit predict, and you can see that our model determines that this is in fact, drum roll again, suspicious. And then it prompts the person to do further research on the contents. Now, we have one more example just to show you how flexible and versatile this model is. This is actually from the local Montreal Gazette. And this was an article that was published last week, and it's about municipal spending and fund allocation. So if you were curious whether your local government was attempting to misinform you or divert your attention in any way, you can just copy the text. Oh, sorry about that. A couple technical difficulties. But yes, you can just copy the text and paste it in there. And what the model does is there's only minimal pre-processing, so it takes away any extra spaces, takes out punctuation, and then it feeds in the clean text directly into our model, which then, and it's built in already the tokenization, lemmatization, and then runs it through. So just gotta copy, and when we paste, right there, easy as that, we can see that in fact, drum roll, it's true. So it's nice to see that Montreal has a thriving independent journalism. So, but you don't have to take our word for it. Try it for yourself.
All right, so hello everyone. My name is Paula, and today I'll be talking to you about EyeSpy. So before we get into it, I first wanted to tell you a story about John. John is a lovely dad that he likes to play with his son. But one day he realizes that his eyesight has been deteriorating with time. So he goes and gets a checkup. And the checkup, the doctor says that, oh, like you're tired, you're overworked, and that's it. But the only problem is that years later, they found out that he actually had early sign symptoms of diabetic retinopathy. So this is actually a problem. Because as a matter of fact, at least 56% of people get misdiagnosed with potential eye diseases. So why are we having such a big challenge? Well, we have three big problems. Two of the big problems comes by hand: scalability and diagnosis speed. Well, basically, we have too many people getting sick, and we don't have enough specialists that we're able to diagnose these diseases. And lastly, human error. People make mistakes, it's normal. Incorrect treatment, delayed care, and increases the cost of emotional stress. So we asked the question, can we create a digital assistant for ophthalmologists to improve the early diagnosis? And for so, we created EyeSpy. EyeSpy is a virtual assistant that helps ophthalmologists to detect diseases within the inside of your eye. So the way we do this is that we do it the way ophthalmologist does it. And for that, we take images of your eye, and then we look at the patterns inside those eyes. So like, for example, we look at the color of the veins, the shape, and any other anomalies, just like dark spots. So we train our model with a database that contains 3,200 retina images, and we train it in two different stages. In the first stage, we did a binary classification where we determined whether an eye was healthy and unhealthy. And in the second stage, we did a multi-disease classification where we specifically tell you what type of disease does this eye can see. So the logic of our model is basic as this. We take the picture, the doctor uploads it, and uploads it in our machine, and then he determines whether it is healthy or not. If it's not healthy, then we become into a multi-decision to whether of these 4 diseases, and then it gives you a feedback. But how was it created? So in technical words, we use a combinational neural network, and with a model that was already developed, a BGG16 combinational network with a total of 16 layers. We used 13 combinational and 3 fully connected layers. And once we trained the model, we evaluated, and then we saw that our accuracy was above 90%, which is great. So now let me show you how it works. A doctor will come, open our website, insert the name of the patient, in their first name, last name, and then we'll upload the image taken from the inside of your eye. Then the output would be the image that you found, and then you would determine whether it was healthy or not. In this case, it was healthy. Let's try another one. So again, you insert the name, you look for the picture, and then you make your diagnosis. So in this case, we got an unhealthy eye. And as you can see, we can get the anomaly of the type. So this was quite specific, and we got diabetic retinopathy. And also we got a small description of what type of disease this means. Let's try another one, just to make sure everything is okay. So we insert the name, we upload the image, and then we get our diagnosis. And this one is also unhealthy with a different pathology, media haze with a small description. As you can see, everything is very quick and specific, which is what we want. So yeah, so you may ask, like, what's next? And for us, we answered that we would like to add more diseases, add more anomalies, so we can improve, be more specific with the type of diagnosis we can do. We also want to improve the accuracy of the model, being a medical diagnosis. Also, with the improve of other technologies, we also give the option to the doctors to be able to download a PDF file with the final report. And lastly, with the improvement of technologies, we would like to adapt the website that we develop into an app to be able to connect your smartphone with gadgets that take pictures of your retina. And for last, we want to say, let EyeSpy help you help others.
All right, picture this. You're walking down the street. All of a sudden, you feel chest tightness. Your heart rate goes up. You step to the side, and within a minute, just as quickly as these feelings had come on, they're gone. What happened? Should I be worried? Should I go see someone? Without a medical background or knowledge about health, it's hard to know when you should take action and when it's just another thing that happens in our day-to-day lives. So we know that heart conditions are the second leading cause of death for Canadians each year. And we know that we have tools like electrocardiograms, or ECGs, that are fundamental for diagnosing and monitoring heart conditions. But these tools aren't always super accessible. We also know that early symptoms are not always detectable. And the accuracy of your diagnosis can vary based on the clinician you have on any given day. When we learned this, we felt a little bit like we didn't really have control over being an active participant in our own health, so we wanted to do something about it. We wanted to create a tool that could help others also become more empowered and more active stakeholders in their own heart health. So, enter the Heartbeatdecoder. It's a machine learning model that can take a simple ECG input and predict whether it is normal or abnormal. And in our case, we were specifically looking for signs of arrhythmia. So how did we go about building this tool? We started with a data set. Specifically, we used the ECG arrhythmia classification data set. It's originally published by MIT, and it takes samples from the MIT BIH arrhythmia database, which is the gold standard for this type of data in the health science literature. Within our data set, we had 176,000 samples, and those included 32 encoded wave features. So I'm sure you've all seen an ECG wave before. Each of the waves, the peaks, the valleys, and the combinations contain important information about how our heart functions. So our data set had already encoded many of those features and made it easier to work with and more medically relevant. We also chose this data set because it contained single lead ECG information. Typically, or traditionally, ECGs contain 12 leads, which means 12 electrodes that have to be placed on the body. They're complicated to place, it's difficult to interpret the results, and again, they're not accessible to normal people. We chose single lead because in recent years, there have been many more technologies available for personal ECG use. And since about 2017, individual people's smartwatches can actually take ECG readings. So we wanted to make sure that our model could work with this data and let people conduct these tests for themselves as individuals. So for the technical part of our model, I'm going to hand it over to David. He's going to take you through some of the nitty-gritty.
Hello. Yeah, so for the model, we had 176,000 samples. So we decided to narrow it down to 50,000 for the sake of computation. And from there, we took it into a train test split of 80% train and 20% test. And this is really interesting. I didn't know this before doing this project. A lot of healthcare and medical data is, at its nature, unbalanced, meaning when you're looking at a data set, there's not going to be an equal number of diseased, because of diseases and their prevalence in data sets, it's just going to be very unbalanced. There's usually more normal cases in a data set than a disease case. So we had to rebalance it, and we used something called SMOTE, which is an oversampling technique. From there, we passed it into our model, which we played around with a few different options, but we found that the random forest was the simplest and the most effective. Yeah. So from there, which was at the local level, we created an API for our model. We containerized it in the Docker format. We eventually took that to the cloud using the Google Cloud Run, which basically made it available online for anyone to access. Which brings us to our user interface, which we use Streamlit for, which is a great library for UI for data stuff. And this essentially allows a user to take a CSV file that they have from wherever they get their like their smartwatch, etc., and load it into our API and our model, and which will return a result, which we can try right now. And I'll pass you back to Caitlin.
All right, not yet. We have a demo. So this is our website here. This is the Heartbeatdecoder. So first and foremost, this app is currently for educational purposes only. But we'll take you through an example of actually uploading a CSV and getting some results. So we'll start with a trace that we know is healthy. And we'll analyze. All right, so the results are in. Our healthy sample has come back as normal. This is great, and we have some additional heart health tips to make sure that you keep it that way. We'll do a second one now with a heart trace that we know has an arrhythmia, so is abnormal. All right, the results are in, so it is abnormal. There's an arrhythmia. And we provide some next steps. Because this is not a diagnostic tool and can't perform a formal medical assessment, this is really just your push to take the next step and make an appointment to get a full diagnosis for your ECG. And you can also bring a copy of these results with you to have contextual evidence of how you were feeling or what was happening when you originally took this trace. So in terms of the overall performance of our model and the next steps that we would take, we were really happy with the performance. Because our data was so well encoded at the beginning, we were able to return a 98% recall and only a false negative rate of 2.35%. Our next steps, were we to continue working on this app, would be to include a smartwatch ECG integration. So right now we're dropping CSV files in. We'd love to make it even smoother and have it directly upload from your watch or personal device. We'd also try working on a model with less feature-encoded data, so something that can take more raw data and encode more information than what we were previously using, and this would probably use deep learning, or would most likely use deep learning methods that we weren't able to use for this particular example. And hopefully, this would make the app sort of more usable and more widely accessible across different devices for many people. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
All right, hello everyone. Thank you for coming out to our presentation tonight. And let's get ready to optimize your job search with Cover Genie.
Job searching. As we come near to the end of our boot camp, it's the thing that's on the top of all of our minds right now. And I know how I feel about job searching. It's long, it's boring, it's demoralizing. But what about you guys? Do you guys feel the same? Yeah, well, I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad I'm not alone. And on that note, I want to ask, is there anyone in the audience by any chance who has their CV who could possibly use it for a demo? And what's your name? Thank you, Pierre. And don't worry, this will only be shared with us and the millions of people online.
All right, thank you, Arnav and Pierre. The reality is that your worries and emotions around job search is completely valid. In a recent poll done by Resume Genius, 72% of job seekers said that job hunting has negatively impacted their mental health. And the reality is that job search has completely changed, with 99% of Fortune 500 companies implementing applicant tracking systems, which pre-review your application before it's even seen by a recruiter. And on average, most of these resumes are denied before even being seen by a recruiter, with 75% of applications not even being received by a recruiter. And this makes job hunting more difficult, and it requires job searchers to apply to more jobs. On average, it takes about 100 to 200 job applications before receiving one job offer.
But do not fear, because Cover Genie is here. And here at Cover Genie, we have three main goals. First, we want to stop the endless cycle of looking on LinkedIn for multiple jobs on hours, because we're going to match your CV with the jobs that are most relevant to you. After that, we're going to kill off the thing where we have to get the correct buzzword to go past the filtering process, because now Cover Genie will write you a unique cover letter specified for that job description based on your CV. And lastly, no more writing tons of cover letters on end, because we're going to do it at scale. So you can apply to multiple jobs at the same time, Pierre.
Now diving into the data that we use to build Cover Genie. For our data, we use the Jobs API, which is a web scraping API that pulls job postings from very popular hiring websites such as LinkedIn, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, etc. Our data set size was around 24,000 job postings that varied from different Canadian cities, such as Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver, and included a number of different features for each job posting, including the job description, company name, job title, and date posted.
And to give you a brief description on how all of this works, we take the data in, and then we use a classification model in order to get the industry of those jobs. Then you as a user can select the specific industry you want, and we'll give you those jobs. After that, we take two inputs, which is one, your CV, and the title of the job that you're looking for. After we take those two inputs, we run them through our recommendation system to give you the jobs most suited to your needs. At the end, we use the OpenAI assistant through a LangChain model in order to generate the cover letters tailored for your jobs based on your CV.
All right, Pierre, you ready? Okay, let's go. Your dream job awaits. So let's try Cover Genie. What's your dream job? Okay, perfect. So let's write that in, data engineer. And in what industry would you like to be? In tech? Yes, perfect. And where? Yes, because we are in Montreal, aren't we? Let's just drag and drop your CV in there. Thank you for sharing that with us. And then we're going to recommend the top 5 most relevant jobs for you. So we're just matching the similarity between your CV and our jobs database. So it's just running there. You're going to get the most relevant job postings for you. And there you have it. Does that seem like things you would apply for? Yeah. And then you can generate all 5 cover letters for those job postings at the click of a button. So that's just going through the OpenAI assistant. And it's going to output a tailored, personalized cover letter based off of your CV. It's just... So does that seem like a good idea? Applying at scale? Yeah. So are you satisfied with our product? Yeah? Yeah, is there... Okay. So we can even download the cover letter in a TXT format. You can edit it at will and then send it in the desired format that you wish. And you can apply by clicking the jobs URL at the bottom. There we go.
All right. Thank you, Julia, for the demo, and thank you, Pierre, for your participation. Now getting into some of the limitations of Cover Genie. The first is if there's an applicant who's currently in the middle of a career switch, switching from one industry to another, your cover letter might be a little skewed, and this is because your prior experience listed on your CV does not reflect the job that you're applying for, which therefore skews the data that's being inputted in our writing assistant. A second limitation that we have is the CV must be in PDF format when submitted through Cover Genie. However, we'd like to expand this to docx files and other file types to make it easier for the user. And then a third limitation we ran into is seniority amongst job postings is not really considered with our current model. And this is because natural language processors extract meaning from words, also known as text, and numbers aren't really considered. So if you're a senior level applicant applying to senior level jobs, you might be recommended a more entry level position because it does not take into account numbers. Some add-ons we'd like to implement in the future is first, we'd like to automate the live jobs API data call. So whenever you're loading up Cover Genie, you're getting fresh job postings pulled right into our database that can be recommended for you, and you're not being recommended jobs that are either filled or closed. Another add-on we'd like to implement is we'd like to refine our job search parameters by implementing salary ranges and company title name filters to make sure that the user can find the job faster. And then the last add-on we'd like to implement is allowing the user to apply to a multitude of job postings right directly on the Cover Genie website, so they don't have to be switching from one website to another.
And that's us at Cover Genie. We couldn't have done it without this amazing team. We have Julia, who worked on the architecture and the deployment. We have Jacob, who worked on the recommendation model. We have Cam over there, who worked on the classification. I worked on the Open API and LangChain. Thank you. And last but not least, obviously, Pierre, our special guest. Thank you very much. But we're not just done yet, because this is not just a demo. Cover Genie is live and running. We have the QR code over there, and please feel free to try it. And we hope you all get jobs very soon.
Hello, everyone. We are so excited to be here tonight presenting our final project, Smart Food. But first, let me ask you a question. Do you think making healthy food choices is challenging? Yes. Well, personally, I relate a lot to this question because I'm a mother. As you can see, my daughter is here. And all the mothers here could reflect on that. We want to make really the good choices for our family. And that been really challenging recently because I think that all the problems that you found when you want to choose the right product, especially when it's come about the ingredients, all the nutrition and additive that the product might have, it's really complex because every time that I go to shop, I face this challenge of really understand the different levels of product that are usually really overwhelming and sometimes really confusing, and in long terms could lead really to have health issues really serious. So I started to search online, and I realized that actually I'm not alone on that. That 50% of the global consumers say that they barely understand nutrition labels, and more than 62% do not base their food choices in nutrition information. That is huge. I speak about that with Juan, Carmen, and Mike, and we were all agreed that we need to do something about this lack of understanding. And our vision is really simple. We want to increase the nutrition education and awareness. We want to improve accessibility to healthy food and promote a clear and simple way to interpret the food labeling. And in order to do that, we take this data set that is called Open Food Fact, that is an open source created by real consumers that contain more than 3 million products from 150 countries. And from there, we take 200,000 products that were based in USA and Canada, since we are here, and create a machine learning model that could take as an input the nutritional information of the product and get it as an output the healthiness score prediction, so we really see if that product that we are choosing is healthy or unhealthy for us and for all of us.
Thank you. So to analyze a product, what we do is that we scan the barcode. If the product is not in the Open Food Facts database, what we can do is we can take a picture of the nutritional facts that are on the box, and we get the information from the Open Food Facts, and we pass this information through our machine learning model. It's a random forest machine learning model. And then as an output, we can get the allergens, some dietary tags, the nutritional score, and some smart tips coming from an integration with OpenAI. So let's try our application. So as you can see, Celeste has a daughter, and she was looking for healthy options to give to her daughter, and she found this. This is a mac and cheese product. As you can see, it says that it's 80% organic ingredients, and we want to see if this is really healthy. Do you think with what the label says is healthy or not? Is it healthy? Okay, let's see what it says. So we are scanning the barcode. We take the picture. Let's give it some time. Just give 1 second. Try again. Okay, and we are getting the information from the product. As you can see, we get the picture from the database. We have all the information, the ingredients. We have these tags that tell you that the product is not 100% vegan, it's maybe vegetarian, it has palm oil free, it's not gluten free, and it's lactose free. And as you can see, it tells you that the product is suitable for some allergies like milk, peanut, fish, soybean, mollusk, but it's not suitable for gluten. And this is the healthy score. So you can see it's 49%, so it means it seems that it's not a good product, so don't give this to your kids. As you can see, it has high energy and caloric content, 1,550 80 kilojoules. Is saturated in fats. It has a lot of sodium, and the density of nutrition is really low. So let's try another product. Carmen, my friend Carmen recommended that I try tahini. I don't know what is tahini, but let's see what this application says. So this is the barcode. So we are gonna scan it. In this case, we are selecting the image. Before we took a picture. And as you can see, this product is 100% vegan, is vegetarian, is palm oil free, gluten free, and lactose free. And you see the picture, the ingredients, and it's suitable for allergies to milk, peanut, fish, soybean, gluten, and it's not suitable for sesame seeds. So the healthy score is 67%, so it's a good product. It's not the best one, but it's a good product. And as you can see, we have some useful insights about this product. It's rich in healthy fats. That's a good thing. It's vegan and organic, and it's certificated as that, so that is great. And its nutrition is rich in other nutrients. So let's try another product that Mike recommended. Those are some crackers that we can accompany with the sauce. And as you can see, we're gonna try to read the barcode. But in this case, the barcode or this product doesn't exist in Open Food Facts. So we're gonna use our other option. In this case, we are gonna take a picture of the nutrition facts label. And as you can see, it has low fats, it's good in fiber, low sugar, it has good amount of proteins, low in sodium. So what do you think, is this a good product or not? Yes? Okay, let's try to see what Smart Food says. So this is the healthiness score, it's 84%, so it's a really good product that you can try. And as you can see, as the label mentioned, it has high fiber content, it's low in added sugars and saturated fats, and it doesn't have trans fats or cholesterols. So of course, I'm gonna keep using this application every time I go to the store. So and this is our team. So this wouldn't be possible without the hard work of all this amazing team, Carmen, Celeste, Michael, and myself. And without the effort and the support of all our teachers. And thank you so much.
Well, hello everyone. So today our team is going to present our analysis on mental health and music listening habits. So in today's society, which is a fast-paced society, stress and anxiety are the most prevalent. So it was important for us to understand, it was crucial for us to understand the potential effects of our music listening habits on our well-being. So there's our research. To begin with, we wanted to see if preferences for certain music genres have a significant impact on mental health outcomes. So to do so, we gather information from different data, such as the music genre, the age category distribution of the respondent, the mood status, and finally, the mental health outcomes, such as depression, OCD, anxiety, and insomnia. So additionally, what we wanted to do was to show how they are interconnected between each other. So if we choose to click on rock for the music genre, we can see that suddenly people who answer the survey tend to feel for the mood status. It was equally distributed between worsen and improve. Also, we can see that young adults tend to be the ones who listen to the most of rock. And finally, on the bottom, you can see that people felt like their level of depression was quite high, unlike their OCDs. But what if we wanted to see, like, for the young adults who listen to rock, right? Well, young adults tend to feel like their mood worsen instead of improve. And we can also see, like, at the bottom with the graph, that their depression level was way higher of the rest of the sample that we have. Now, for the rest of this analysis, we had to answer another question, which was, what is the relationship between duration of listening to music and mental health? Well, to do so, we did a correlation coefficient, which showed the relationship between two values, which is for us the music listening duration and the mental health outcome. We can see that there is a small but positive relationship between them, and the graph shows it in a better way. Now, for the next part, we wanted to see how the duration of timing of music listening influence mental health differently. Well, we chose to display it with four graphs. One, we can see on the top left that most users tend to listen to 0 to 3 hours, and with a notable minority which listen to 9+ hours. We also wanted to show how, like, the sessions were, like, distributed. We can see that most people tend to listen to during the evening and the afternoon, and fewer sessions during the night and the morning. Now, as you can see on the bottom left, people who listen to 0 to 3 hours were the ones who were the less impacted by the different mental health issues that we gather. Unlike the people who listen to 9 to 12, where you can see that there is a spike into anxiety and depression. And people who listen to 13 hours plus of music during the day tend to feel like insomnia was rising. Now, for the last part of that slide, we can see that people who listen to music, like, during nighttime had increased level of OCD and increased level of depression, unlike the people in the morning who had higher anxiety and insomnia. Now we can see that people in the evening didn't have that much trouble. It was lower for them for the insomnia part. And finally, people who listened to music during the afternoon had low level of anxiety, depression, and OCD. So now for the rest of the analysis. I'm going to give the microphone to my colleague Juan Jose, who is going to show you the rest. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Duncan. We also wanted to analyze the results of the people that believes that their mental health got worse thanks to listening to music. First of all, we can see that this group only represents the 2% of the population. Their favorite genres are rap, pop, R&B, and video game music. Now, there's also an important factor, and it's the exposure to music that these people have. And as we can see, it's a range between 1 to 5 hours per day. Now, the last analysis that we wanted to make is what happens when we listen to music at work. First of all, 75% of the people listen to music while working. The most used genres to listen to at this context are rock, pop, and metal music. But we found that the average level of depression, anxiety, and insomnia tends to be the same regardless if we listen to music or not during work. So basically, the context does not impact our mental health. What we found is that listening to lo-fi, for example, represents a higher level of anxiety in general, the same for sessions that last longer than 4 hours per day. Finally, we did a random forest prediction model in order to forecast some outcomes based on our data. What we found is that if we listen to music, our mood is going to improve with a 72% of probability. Our main conclusions are that there's a positive relationship between listening to music and our mental health. We should limit our listening to music daily, maximum of 3 hours per day, and we would try to do it during the afternoon or during the evening. And it would be more beneficial for us if we listen to music like gospel, classical, or R&B during work. Thank you for listening, and don't listen to lo-fi while working. No.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having us today. We are Urgent Co., a real estate consulting firm specializing in data-driven analysis to support our customers in helping them in making the best decision based on their needs and preferences when it comes to investing in a property. Before we get into the details of the presentation, you will see in the maps that we will be showing that the darker the color, the higher the value, but you will understand. Before I give you the details when it comes to the prices, I need to make one thing clear. France is divided into 90 plus administrative areas, and we call them départements, and that's what we took as a reference here for our study. And when we started working, we looked at one very important thing, you guessed it. So we came up with a KPI that's called CAGR, for compound annual growth rate. Basically, it's the profitability level of a given area. So if you have a CAGR of 5, you buy something that's worth 100,000 euros. Within the following year, it's supposed to be worth 105,000 euros. We can see that the top 3 areas are Gironde, Maine-et-Loire, and Rhône. And if we take a closer look at the highest values that we have besides these 3, we can see that areas showing the highest level of profitability tend to be on the Atlantic coast. So simply put, if you want to make money with your investment, make sure you're close to the ocean. And we also looked at the various types of premises that we can find, basically apartments and houses. We have an overall CAGR for the country, and we can also look at it by département. And if we look at the type of premise, here, apartments, we see that despite prices going up pretty much anywhere in the country, in some areas, if you buy an apartment, it can have a negative CAGR, which means that your investment might not be completely worth it if you want to make a profit with your property. But when we look at houses, despite some areas having a very low CAGR, it still remains positive. So you can expect that if you buy a house in France, you can make a profit. Sometimes it's going to be very low, sometimes it's going to be high, but it might be more secure if you want to make money with your investment to buy a house rather than an apartment. And now that we have looked at the price, we also need to take into account other factors for our purchase process. And I will let my colleague Eliane tell you about tourism.
Hold on, is it? Oh, yeah, it's working, sorry. All right, so France is a highly visited country and presents a wide range of attractions. It has a very high density of touristic venues, hence the numerous dots that's a bit chaotic on the map. We have ranked the departments based on the number of attractions they have, and we made a list of all the types of attractions we have in the country, as you can see, like castle, historic monuments, water, museum, and so on. And we're going to take a concrete example. We selected precisely the beach attraction. So there you can see, you can have an instant overview of the main beaches for all the country, as well as a focus of the areas that have the most beaches. For example, Var, Finistère, Medecine, and so on. Taking this into account, these elements will be important to calculate the attractiveness score. So the attractiveness score is an indicator showing the desirability of a department from a touristic standpoint, which includes the importance of attractions in a given area, as well as the volume of venues in a sold area. But before looking to all the departments, we've seen an outlier in our analysis, which was Paris. Surprise, surprise. Because it has an extremely high density of attraction, and it's one of the most visited cities in the world. And for the other departments that are really interested in attractiveness, you have Bouches-du-Rhône, Gironde, and Loire-Atlantique. So if you're interested into investing tourist-wise, you can go with the three of them. But it is fun, or not it is fun, it is fun to take account prices and tourism, but we need to take in account the climate risk, which Kanin will let us talk, that she will talk all about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Eliane. So over the past few years, we have seen a growing concern regarding climate risk. As you can see on the map, there is this map is the average level of climate risk for each department. So for instance, if we go with Alpes-Maritimes, the department number 6, you can see directly on the map, where is it? Also, you can see the different type of risk that there are in this area. So coastal flood, extreme heat, landslide, etc. Also, you can see the risk level it is attributed to the type of risk. Moreover, you can also decide to go with knowing where in France there is some coastal flood with a high risk. So directly in the map, you're going to see all the different departments you should avoid if you really don't want to go with coastal flood risk. We also decided to calculate the overall score for each department. This score is based on 24. The minimum value in France is 6 for a department, and the highest value for France is 19. For instance, if we go with Bouches-du-Rhône, Bouches-du-Rhône is one of the highest risk. Is it indeed the highest, most at-risk area? You can also see with this graph that you can see exactly the high for coastal flood. It is a high risk. Extreme heat is medium. Landslide, river flood, it's really descriptive. With all these different variables, we have created a tool, a custom solution that will help you make the right decision. This will help you make the right decision regarding your preferences, but also regarding the weight you will assign to each of the variables. So let's go with for instance, one of our last customer that came last week to our office, Mr. Dupont. He wanted to make an investment, and he wanted to make it based mainly on growth. So we went with 80% for growth. We also went to 10% for tourism and also 10% for climate risk. You can see on the map that in this map, the darker the better. And for instance, Rhône is one of the better score for this kind of investment. Also, we had another client named Mr. Lafleur. She was really concerned about climate risk. So we decided to go with the 70% regarding climate risk, 10% for tourism, and also 20% for growth. We can see that maybe the department Mayenne would be an interesting score for her and an interesting investment. But that's not all. We also wanted to create a model that could predict a range price, for a given property. And I will let Reza, our in-house expert, talk more about this. Thank you.
Well, why do we need a prediction model? So far, our main focus was on understanding how to invest in the existing properties based on some factors like price growth rate, climate risk, and tourism attraction score. However, what happens if we encounter some properties without any pricing data or a new listing that has come onto the market recently? To address this challenge, we use and tuned a classification model named Catboost Classifier for this end. By using this, we took some parameters, some factors like department, number of tourists, size, number of rooms, property type, surface, and sales year into account to predict the range for prices. By applying this model to our dataset, we achieved the accuracy score of over 80%, which is both reliable and reasonable for this kind of the problem. Here we generated 3 new possibility that fall into the same class, I mean the price range. The third one, located at Aeron, not only has the largest surface area, but also it has the lowest risk regarding the climate score, I mean 8 out of 24. So we can choose this option as the best one for investment. As a conclusion, by taking a scientific and holistic approach based on the data-driven decision making and various significant factors, we are here to help you to make a robust and reliable decision for your investment with peace of mind. So, good success.
Hi, everyone. Pretty close to happy hour, so I hope you're enjoying 2 more sessions. So my name is Pablo, and I've been journaling for a very long time. I enjoy journaling on my diary, and it actually helps me to clear my mind most of the time in the short term. The problem is that in the long term, it doesn't usually lead me to changing my behavior in order to address the challenges in my life, address the obstacles in my life. And this is when I met one of my friends who told me about Day by Day. And Day by Day is an amazing app that uses a journaling app that uses AI technology to identify the common trends in your journal, provide obstacles that you're facing in your life, and then give you recommendations on how to solve these obstacles. Which it was perfect for me at this time, because me and my beautiful partner over here, we just had a baby 2 years ago, had a baby. And he's a toddler, and he's amazing, he's beautiful, but also can be a handful. So today is Friday, it's finally the week is done. and we've been going through, a lot of things this week. There's a lot of things in my mind. I want to try out day by day, and I want to talk about this one thing that was very difficult about today, is that daycare called me telling me that our baby toddler, Sasha, was sick. So I had to stop work. I had to go pick him up, and for anyone who has had a toddler sick in the home, it is draining, and you probably know this. So by the end of the day, I was completely exhausted, and I'm gonna, put this down in my journal. And I don't want to go to bed feeling all this stress, all this fatigue, So I'm curious to see how day by day can help me address this obstacle in my life, this difficulty that I went through. And it's pretty cool because I realize that it's taking the entry that I just wrote about Sasha being sick, and it is generating an obstacle card, identifying it, and I'm curious to see what recommendations I'm going to get by day in order to navigate this difficulty better. Wow, okay, so reframing, that's very interesting. I haven't thought about that. Looking at the positive of this difficult situation. Showing compassion for Sasha because he was sick. Showing compassion for myself, which I sometimes forget to do. And this is all, thanks to day by day, is helping me see the situation from a different perspective. Now, just reading this, I feel already so much better, right? It's giving me the potential to navigate this challenge. And I remember that not everything was bad today. I had forgotten it, but at the end of the day, something great happened, and that's Charlene, my partner, came in with an amazing box of sushi takeout. And I love sushi, especially the spicy dragon roll, which is there was a bunch of that, and she did it, and it was a great way to wrap up the day. I was exhausted, but this was a very nice, comforting situation to be in. So yeah, this was very nice to have, and once she provided me with this, we can go to the journal. Yes, so we had a little glitch, but it's okay. So we're going to try it again. And it was basically, this amazing experience that provided Charlene. And what you're going to see, which is going to be pretty cool when you see it, is that the entry was detected as something positive, as something good. And now this caught my eye, my daily gratefulness statement. And it's cool because I've heard about gratefulness and how it's important to recognize and be grateful for the things that we have. And here I am happy to see that day by day took what I wrote and created this gratefulness statement, and I can access it whenever I want. Now 3 months go by, time goes by, and I've been using the app all the time, day by day. I love it. I love writing my entries. I love checking out the obstacles and the recommendations. And particularly recently, I've been writing a lot about how Sasha, we're going through a hard time because he's learning how to sleep in his own bed and stop sleeping in the crib. But he gets out all the time. He wakes us up. We're exhausted. We're trying to teaching him. We're honestly depleted. So throughout this time, I've been writing on my journal, and I've been investigating or checking out the obstacle and the recommendations that I get from the obstacle, right? And look at this, reframing, it's great. I haven't thought about it. Again, it's a difficult challenge, yes, but I'm teaching Sasha, my son, how to be autonomous, how to be independent. And these are things that I could probably forget. And showing compassion also for Sasha, because he's going through a difficult time just as we are. So reframing that perspective, seeing it from compassion is helping me. Feeling emotions as well. It's not just about disconnecting with Netflix at the end of the day, but also the app is reminding me to take my time, to feel the frustration, to allow myself to be angry and not try to run away from that. Now, today Sasha still has a hard time sleeping by himself, but thanks to the recommendations, I am more present, I am more available for him, I have more patience, and that's the kind of father that I want to be. So I'm going to mark this as resolved, this obstacle as resolved, and although I have many obstacles resolved, I have many more obstacles that I want to, go forward with and navigate, but I know that day by day has my back. It wasn't us who wrote this. So right before I go, something catches my eye, and it's this gratefulness statement. It was just something I wrote about a month ago when Sasha was putting on his shoes by himself, and I was so proud of him, and I felt so lucky to be his dad. And I love to see how day by day is providing me with these nuggets of beautiful memories of my life that otherwise I would forget. So all in all, I do have a lot of challenges and obstacles ahead in my life, but I know that with day by day is going to help me gain different perspective and insight and clarity, and also remind me of all the things I can be grateful for and change my life accordingly. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody, my name is Kathy. I am currently looking for a new job. I'm trying to change career, and it's pretty hard out there. I've been being interested into becoming a developer. Maybe that'd be a good thing. So I was looking at the internet and I was thinking, yeah, there's a lot of information. It's a lot of information to take in. So I was talking with my friend, and they told me that there's this app called Game of Codes. Game of Codes is an app that teaches Ruby, which is a beginner-friendly programming language where it could help you understand more what programming is. And I think it's really a fun, quick, easy way to learn, all in the palm of my hands. So I've been using it recently for the past few days, and it's been really fun. So I wanted to show you guys how it's played. So let's start. Okay, don't judge me. I'm only at the beginner. I've just started. Please be patient. So now I'm in the string deck. So if you guys want to play with me, we can. So let's start. Okay, first it shows you the tips. So strings. Strings are text that exist within either single quotes or double quotes. You create a string by enclosing a sequence of characters in one or the other. I feel confident. Let's start. Okay, which one is a string? First answer. Got it? Which method transforms a number into a string? First answer. Got it? What do you have to include when you create a string? I think I forgot. Let me go really quick in the tips. Yeah, okay, I got it. Let's do it. Second answer. Yes. All right. Where do you position the quotation marks in a string? Last one, duh. Awesome. Last and not least, which string has a length of 4 characters? Second answer. There you go. Third deck completed. Wait, I remember there's this rival that I really don't like because I keep losing against him. His name is David Wagon. And I'm pretty sure he challenged me, and it's true. He challenged me against me for the deck of floats. I feel ready. Let's do it. Okay, the tips, numbers, the decimal. All right, I'm confident. Let's do it. Let's start. All right, okay, is root beer float? 5. Okay, next one. Will dividing one integer by another integer give you a float? Never. Yes, all right. Okay, choose the float. Not root beer. 3.14? Awesome. All right, he's ahead of me. Okay, I've lost again against David. It's okay. I'm a little embarrassed. I'm sorry. So I'm going to call for a rematch. All right, let's go back to the decks. Floats again against David Wagon. This time, I want you guys to participate with me because I need to go quick and beat David Wagon. All right? Okay, let's wait for his answer. This time, David Wagon, you're going down. All right, let's start. If you divide 4 by 3, is this a result or float? No. Will dividing one integer by another integer give you a float? Never. Yes, we did it, guys. All right. All floats contain a decimal point, right? Okay. Is root beer a float? No, but I wish. All right, choose the float. 3.14. Awesome. We did it, guys. We did it, finally. I'm so proud of me. I think I'm really happy. Finally, I beat for once David Wagon, and I'm pretty proud. So I want to show you how my progress is going. I know, I've been losing against David, but today a win is a win. So yeah, I think I'm pretty hopeful to become a developer one day. So maybe I'll keep going and I'll keep playing, and if I can do it, you guys can do it.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah and I'm a very busy student with an extensive medication list, but I don't have time to line up at the pharmacy or stay on hold on the phone for an hour just to refill my prescriptions. Honestly, it was getting so bad lately that I almost stopped using all my medications altogether, and that was until I found RxBuddy, which quite literally saved my life. It's an awesome tool because it has a great design, it's really easy to use, and most importantly, it's free. Today I have to refill a few prescriptions, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. The first one, and the most important one for me, is Adderall. I am really happy to have my refills here, but I'm a little late in refilling it because last week I had lots of exams and I was really stressed and I forgot to take some pills. But, and last time I checked, I think I have one pill left, but I'm not sure. So I'll order it for tomorrow, just in case. The next one is omeprazole. This one is also a little late, but I don't need it till tomorrow because I know for a fact I have some left. And lastly, metformin. It's not due for another 5 days, and I know that I have about a week left, so I think I'll order it for next week. And one thing about me is that I like to double check everything. So I am checking my order, and you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not gonna order metformin. It's next week's problem. We're not gonna worry about that yet. And I'm gonna order Adderall for tonight actually because I don't wanna miss it tomorrow. So just in case, I'm gonna go ahead with that. And I'll send over my order and it's all done. And I just realized it's time for me to go to class, so I should really get going. And I wonder if I should order a sandwich on the way. Oh man, this class has been really long. And Dr. Patel left me a message, and he just told me that I'm allergic to magnesium. Oh my God, I have to let my pharmacy know and through RxBuddy that I'm allergic and to update my information. And that sucks. I'm allergic to Lexapro too now because it probably has magnesium in it. Oh well, what can I do? Now I just want to know the status of my Adderall, what's going on with it. Is it ready? Okay, it's in process. That means that it's probably gonna be ready soon and I'll probably have to go after lunch to pick it up. The only problem with that is I might not have time, so I wonder if the pharmacy has a delivery service. I guess I know what to do. I'll ask Joy, the virtual assistant. Do you guys deliver? I guess not, so I'll have to make time and go after lunchtime. Feels like I'm forgetting something. What is it? Yesterday, my mom called me and said that Dr. Patel is retiring soon and that I have to make sure that I have enough refills to last me till the end of the semester. Okay, all good. I have refills. Everything is organized. Everything is well, but wait a minute. Oh, they actually deactivated my Lexapro already because I'm allergic to it. That was really fast. I should really talk to someone about that. And ooh, I got a notification. My Adderall is ready for pickup. I wonder what's happening with my omeprazole though. Okay, it's still pending, but I don't need that till tomorrow, so I'll worry about that tomorrow. And so now it's time for me to go to the pharmacy. And since I am very directionally challenged, it was really nice to have the location of the pharmacy available to me. But oh man, Queen Mary is so far. But I gotta get them drugs, so, and I gotta have to get my steps in today as well. So I make my way to the pharmacy, and honestly, I'm just so thankful that I have this RX buddy where my health has never been better. I'm super organized. I feel super organized, and as well, my faith is restored in my healthcare providers. So all I would like to say is thank you, RX buddy.
Hi everybody, I'm Lucy, and I love movies. I am what one might call a movie girl, and I truly believe that the best way to experience a movie is in a cinema. So that's why I'm really happy I discovered this app called MotionExp. MotionExp allows me to keep track of all the movies that I've seen or that I want to see. And also sometimes there are old movies that were released like 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, but you never got a chance to see them in cinema. And sometimes those movies have special screenings, but I always have trouble to be aware of those screenings. So I end up missing them. But thanks to this fantastic app, MotionExp, I can get informed when one of those specific screening is happening in a cinema in my own time. So that's really amazing. By the way, Lena, I heard you earlier talking about a trailer. What was it about? Oh yeah, right, that's it. So basically, yeah, you saw the new trailer for Dune Part 2 from Denis Villeneuve. Okay, I'm definitely gonna watch it because I love the first one and I want to see this new trailer. So Dune Part 2 is already in my watch list. Yeah, so here it is, and I'm gonna play the trailer. Okay, great. It was amazing. I'm so hyped. I just want to see it. So first, let's check if it was marked as get notification. Great, perfect. So that way, I know that if ever there's a premiere happening in Montreal, I will know it for sure. And now that I am on Dune, it makes me think that I never get the chance to see the first one. You know, the old one from David Lynch? So, yeah, I'm gonna look for it. So, Dune. Okay, yeah, this is the one, the last one. So, okay, if ever there is a screening happening, because it could happen, because the new one is going to release in like 3 months, so maybe a cinema will present this one. So I want to make sure that it's in my watch list, and also I want to get notified if ever there's a screening. Great. And since I'm on the app, it makes me think that a few days ago, I've watched this movie called The Lobster. It was really, I didn't know what to think about the movie at first. So I did have time to think about it, and yeah, now I'm ready to rate it. So let's go in my watch list, and okay, find it. So it was The Lobster. Yeah, here it is. So yeah, let's rate it. So obviously I've seen it. Good, and for the rating, well, the scenario was great, really. The acting was amazing, so maybe 4 stars. But, well, let me think. The scenario was a bit complex, so maybe 3 stars? I don't know. No, let's go with my first impression and put 4 stars. Okay, great. And now it makes me think that I really love that director. And I remember I saw a film from him. It was Dogtooth, I think, but I'm not sure it was in my history list, so let's check it. So, okay, Dogtooth. Okay, here it is, perfect. Now I'm sure it is. And, oh, I see that I have a notification. Let's see what it is. So apparently Dune is programmed at Cineplex Forum. That's great. Let's check for the screening times. So, next Friday at 6 p.m. Looks good. I think I can leave the wagon earlier. Great, I'll be there. And I know that my friend Henri wanted to come with me to see this movie, so I'm gonna message him. Okay, so Henri, okay. Hi Henri, wanna see Dune, the old one, with me like next Friday at 6 p.m. at Forum. I really hope he's gonna say yes, because I love being able to debrief a movie after I've seen it with my friends. So, let's see it. Finger crossed. Okay, is okay with it? So let's go. Great. See you there. And well, I hope the movie is going to be great. And of course, without MotionExp, I wouldn't be able to know about screening. So thanks, MotionExp.
Oh, hey everyone. My name is Ryan. I'm 24 years old and I work for a software company called Shopify. You might have heard about it. I make $100K a year plus something called restricted stock options. Does anyone know what that is? I sure don't, but I signed the contract anyway. Ha ha ha. So I overheard my coworkers talking about Fingo and how they learned to invest in the stock market, and I was like, I should probably check that out. Fingo's got a really cool look and feel, speaks to my aesthetic, and they've helped a bunch of other people like me invest and build their portfolio. On top of that, it's only 15 minutes a day. I can do that between my climbing sessions and Tinder dates. How cool is that? I'm gonna get started. What's my top goal? Be rainy day ready? Psh, I wanna get that bag. What do I wanna focus on? I'm not cutting back on Avo toast. I'm mastering the stock market. What is my comfort level with math? I inhale equations for breakfast, duh. Cool, so I've got a course recommended for me, or I can browse all courses, but I'm pretty lazy, so I'm obviously gonna invest like a boss. I have to do all the lessons in sequence. I guess I have to start with Investment 101. Welcome to investing. Say hello to smart money moves. Psh, I already know that. Next. Why should you invest? Come on, we all want to avoid taxes, but I know it's to grow wealth. Woo! Types of investments. Stocks, real estate, bonds. Those could be useful. Investing helps in building wealth and achieving goals? Whoa, my mom always told me I was smart, but this just confirms it. Summary and next steps. Investing is your ticket to financial freedom, which is where I want to go. Whoa, there's looking at you, Leo. So I've got a streak and I've earned 60 coins. What am I gonna do? I'll go back to course. I don't want to do another lesson, but I wonder what's in my dashboard. Ryan, you're on a one-day streak. That's pretty cool. Who the goat? Some chick named Juliet is killing it right now. I have to catch up with her, which means I have to do more lessons. I wonder what I can do with my coins. Fingo store, let's check that out. Whoa. Buff Doge avatar, hello. Purchase, hell yeah. Oh my God, my avatar updated. This is so lit. Also, I really want that meme swap for 100 coins, so I'm gonna have to continue doing my lessons and earning more coins and keeping my streak going. So I guess I'm gonna come back to Fingo tomorrow and learn to invest like a champ. Thank you.
Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Santiago, and over there that's Faniev helping me do the clicking. About 2 years ago, I went on vacation to Mexico when I decided to adopt a stray dog. And I'm sure if you have any pets like me, you know how difficult it is to manage the health of your pet. But I came across this website that helps you do just that. It's called Buddy, and it's super easy to use and super easy to understand. which makes it really great to manage everything about my pets. I currently have a problem with my dog Padme because she's very skinny. So I went to the veterinary back in September to make sure she was gaining weight. And finally, we did it. She is in her ideal weight. So let's go into Buddy and see all of my pets. As you can see, I can see all of my pets. My cat Vandal is okay. And Valentino, I think he needs a haircut, but that's not important right now. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of Padme. So let's check it out. Here is all the information I need to know about her overall health. You can see the weight, medications, hygiene, activities, even the birthday, age, breed, and even the vet to have quick access. But my problem right now is her weight. So I'm gonna go into latest measurements. Here I can see all her progress. And even I can even visually see the change over time with this graph. As you can see, it's not very linear, but we're getting there. So because I just came back from the vet, we're gonna add a new measurement, which is super good news because finally she's 15 kilograms as of today. And she's in her ideal weight. So you might wonder how I did this. And it's because Buddy also lets you manage medications and nutrition. So if we go back to the dashboard, you're able to see all the active treatments, including medications, vaccines. But because I just came back from the vet, as you can see, I already have the medication to increase the weight. But now I need another medication to keep the weight. So I'm gonna add a medication called Slentrol. It's the type of treatment, it's a medication, and it starts today, and it should finish by the end of the month. Hopefully everything goes well before New Year so we can start fresh. It's 1 spoon and it's once daily. What's really great is that if I add a renew date, Buddy automatically adds it to my calendar so I can be reminded if I ever need to make refills. Thanks to Buddy, I can also add a few things such as activities. My dog, as some of you know, she is very destructive, but with good training, we were able to manage it. So for now, I'm just gonna add a new activity. I'm gonna select the type of training that it is. In this case, it's heel. And I'm gonna give it a 5 because we're not there yet. We still have to work on it. And I can even choose a video so I can watch it later. And right now is later, so we're gonna watch a video. So as you can see, you can click on expand. You have all the information and the notes. And you can make it bigger so you can watch a video of my very beautiful dog. Thank you. But before I forget, I don't want to forget, I do need to give Valentino a haircut. So I'm gonna go to his profile because his hair is too long. So as you can see, I can see all the information about Valentino, but I can add a new hygiene record and I can select the type between groom, teeth, whatever you need. I'm gonna make an appointment for next Friday. And well, it's one appointment only and I can add it. And what's really great, I love this feature because I am always forgetting about everything. So now it's added and I can see it there. So I really like Buddy because it really helps me out a lot to manage everything about all of my pets in my very busy life. And what's really great is that you can have as many pets as you want. It doesn't have to be a cat or a dog. It can be whatever you want. So thank you so much.